Welcome back to Markets Today. Today, we are taking a little switch and we're looking at the fixed income market. Turnover yesterday was up 16% to 5.7 billion. We have Barry Omoto, who's a fixed income dealer at Standard Investment Bank. He'll be taking us through the dynamics that are happening there. Barry, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How's the fixed income market looking like?
It's looking on the upward side right now.
Okay.
After the budget, everyone is looking quite optimistic about it. You see, the government has a big deficit, and this is going to be catered for in the fixed income market, to the provision of government bonds and also external borrowing. Maybe in May they issued a Euro bond, which is oversubscribed. This gives you a quite good look into what the investors in the foreign markets look into Kenya.
Okay.
An oversubscription by 4.5% of what they are looking into is quite a good indication of where the market, the Kenyan market, the Kenyan
But you've
market
looked at
is.
the deficit.
Yes.
It's quite big.
It's quite big.
I think, in my view, I'm looking at about them picking 300 billion shillings from the domestic market.
Yes.
What's your sense in terms of the issuance? Do you think they're going to be more on the long end?
I believe they'll have a mix of the two.
Yeah.
In the previous financial year that we're about to finish right now, we've seen a mix of the two. We've had 25-year papers as short as 2-year papers as well, and a mix of infrastructure bonds as well as the fixed bonds.
Yeah. And in terms of pricing, where has the pricing been this year? Since January, is it coming down?
It's actually been coming down.
Okay.
It's actually the curve is straight downwards.
Okay.
And this is to the benefit of the government. So they are borrowing cheap money, and there's still market for this cheap money.
Okay.
So we have investors looking into the primary market and both the secondary market.
Okay. Yeah.
In the last issue, they had a paper. This is a bit technical.
It's okay, please. Our investors are technical.
This is
metaphor.
We have a tech-savvy audience.
All right.
Exactly.
So we had a 12-year bond issued plus an 8-year bond issued.
Okay.
Yeah.
They both had an oversubscription of the two, and a very high rejection rate by the central bank.
This is very surprising.
This is very sad. Not really, because
they've been rejecting.
They've been rejecting. It's been a trend currently this year.
Do you think it's about pricing?
It's definitely about pricing.
So people are very aggressive in the bidding.
Investors expect the yields to go higher because there's been talk about the interest rate capping being removed.
Okay.
Even the last budget, you saw the CS talking about proposing for the
to repeal
the interest rate capping.
Yeah.
But this talk has been
going on. Do you think
it
will be repealed?
Honestly, I don't see it being repealed, because why would you repeal it yet you have a very big deficit that you have to match? You have 300 billion you have to finance locally, and another 300 billion you want to finance externally.
And it could actually be more.
It could be more, because you see, they actually had an extra budget allocation just a week ago. 2 days
supplementary
ago.
budget.
A supplementary budget.
Yes.
So if they keep on borrowing, why will they repeal it to borrow at a higher rate?
So Barry, how much did the government borrow from the domestic market last year in terms of this fiscal year that's about to end in this month? Would you have a sense?
350 billion.
Okay. Yeah. So using that as a run rate, the deficit that they are estimating this year of borrowing 300 from the domestic market, that could be anywhere closer to 400 billion.
Closer to 400 billion.
Closer to 400.
Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
They'll put it in the budget 307 billion.
But then it's going to be a bit higher. But then what's working in their favor is the CPK rejecting. In a way, they've been a broker for the government, and they're able to sort of determine price.
Yes.
And they do appreciate that they're the sole buyer of this.
Actually, right now, they have a very big advantage in the market, considering the rate cap. They're not giving out domestic loans to individuals.
Yes.
So most of the money is going into government
securities,
and it's the safest borrower.
No-brainer for them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. But Barry, tell me, I was looking some analysis. Year-to-date performance of the yield curve.
Yes.
On the long end, we've seen some 50 basis points of a reduction on the long end.
Yes.
But what does that do to portfolios? A lot of portfolios underwater.
Unfortunately, that's the truth. Because if you're buying a 20-year, let's say at 13% at the beginning of the year, right now it's trading at 12.7%.
That's 30 basis points.
That's 30 basis
points. A 30-year paper.
A 20-year paper.
A 20-year paper. Okay.
So that means a lot of portfolios are underwater now.
Are struggling. But a lot of portfolios are struggling. But as long as you're holding it to maturity,
then you're okay.
But for trading, and then the rates keep going lower, it might be a tricky mix at the moment.
So where is the bidding now in the market? Where are people bidding now?
Okay, for the banks, mostly are bidding on the short-end papers.
Okay, so that's the 1 year, 2 years?
2 years to 5 years.
Okay, 2 to 5 year.
2 to 5 year bracket. And then we still see the fund managers and the pension funds picking the long end.
Okay.
Because they're really trying to chase the higher yield.
So that's 15,
Yes,
20 year.
to 20 year. Actually, from around 12 year, 13 year to the 20 year people.
Oh, wow.
But you'll notice most of them are going in for the primary
For
market.
the primary, then they hold to maturity.
Yes, because they have better yields. You'll always definitely find better yields in the primary market than the secondary market.
Than the secondary market.
Yes.
So on that note, Barry, so you're saying the banks are trading the short term and then the fund managers are holding to maturity the longer dated paper. When you look at volumes in the fixed income market year to date, are they higher than they were last year? And who's driving that turnover? Maybe just give us an indication.
Last year we had, if I compare the two actually, I'd say last year we had a lower volume uptake than this year.
Okay.
This year we've seen a lot of rallying in the let's say
primary market.
The primary market.
Both primary and secondary market.
Primary and secondary market. Because once guys miss from the primary,
then they come and pick from
and this wasn't the same from last year.
All right.
Last year, after guys missed from the primary, and it wasn't it wasn't as consistent as this year. Last year, guys used to get quite a bit of good chunk from the primary because the government really was very hungry, had a proper appetite.
But what has TAP market did for the secondary market?
What has what?
What has the TAP issues?
Oh, the TAP
has it killed the secondary market?
Not exactly. Not exactly. You see, when there's a TAP sale, it gives you the yields as at the average, so you're not bidding for it where you'd like to get the paper from.
Okay.
So you'd actually get the same rates from the secondary as compared
to. I'm just thinking that if I missed on the primary, if a TAP is not there, then I would have to go to the secondary market to pick it. No, but now if there's a TAP.
But
that's not good news for you as a...
No, the TAP limits you to which particular paper you can find.
Okay.
It is that one particular paper that was given in the primary that you can find from the TAP.
So if I miss the primary, then I can wait for the TAP.
No, you never, but do you know in advance? You really don't know what the TAP calendar is.
Exactly.
So you can't...
It's not guaranteed that once the primary is closed, you're going to find a TAP. It's not guaranteed.
Did they issue a TAP in May?
No.
You didn't see a TAP?
They didn't issue a TAP.
Okay.
Yes.
But give us a sense of liquidity in the market.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get
All right. Currently, right now, the market is quite liquid. But this might change because it's tax season again. Okay. And they're going to have to remit taxes back. But then we have to bring it again back to the 65 billion issued. This is going back to the country. This is going to be, again, a very liquid market. Okay. So it's a very liquid market at the moment. So it's a seller's market. We have the advantage at the moment.
Barry, let me switch this. So we are saying there's liquidity in the fixed income market.
Yes.
Where's this liquidity coming from? Because in your market there's liquidity. Yes. Out there when you walk in the streets there's no liquidity. It's a bit confusing.
We're talking about the same liquidity?
No, we're talking about liquidity. What is liquidity? Liquidity means you're able to pull funds together and deploy them to particular assets. Right. So he's saying that this year the liquidity is slightly better than it was last year. Right. There's much more turnover in the market. Yeah. So what I'm asking is what's the source of this liquidity? Like, do you have a sense of where the liquidity is coming from?
I'd actually say from payments, from the government payments, as well as salaries coming in. Yeah. So the banks are not releasing the money to individuals, you see. Right. So they're not giving out the debt. But on the other hand, they can invest. Okay. So they'll invest in the secondary market, on the primary market, in the fixed income market. They're the biggest investors. Okay. Holding about, 55%?
Yeah. Yes, they're holding about 55%.
And then you see your pension, where you're saving your money again. The pensions are the second highest holders, holding about 27, 29%. Okay. So this adds up to 80% of the total market.
Of the total market.
So when you say liquidity is there, I mean it in the sense of the fixed income market. Okay. Not really to your pocket.
No. You know what I was trying to get at, but we'll delve into this just after a short break. This liquidity, if it's pension funds, it's people who are putting aside money to come and have that conversation. Right. But hold on to that thought. Okay. The market has actually just opened and the ringing bell will be with you shortly. We'll come back after this break.